Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday, the fourth day of March. How are you? And you, but especially you. Yes, you. How are you doing tonight? Great to have you here live tonight or on the replay. I don't want to insult my replay people. I love you. I love you. Hang on one second. Let me get my other screen going here. Screen is going. Boom and boom. It is great to be here with you. What a wild week already. A wild week. It is woo. It is woo. And woo. I feel like I'm in Hawaii. And it has just been that kind of week. It's been kind of cuckoo. How it is shifted. Hey Lou, how are ya? No shirts for Wicked. Wicked. Maybe a harness for him. Something that you can wrap around Wicket. A branded harness. I don't know. I love Wicket and looking for poor Wicket in all the pictures. Um, he was good boy and sat still there for while you all photographed. So that is good. I love what you're doing. Hey Sherry, how are you? It has been a wild and wacky week here. Hey, Jessica, you are on my list. Should I got to put something else on my list? Speaking of my list, all right. Jessica, I got you on my list. Okay, now I got all my lists. All right, but it has been wild. I mean, the last 24 hours of weather, we had massive ice in the Northeast, and just everything was covered in ice. And then this morning, it sounded like everything was breaking. All the ice was melting. You could just hear it everywhere. You couldn't walk any. Like when I took Luna out this morning, I had to be very, very careful because everything was a sheet of ice. Uh, a name to remember. Yes, indeed, Jessica. And then it just all melted away. It is all gone. It's hot. I actually think I'm going to open a window up in the office tonight. I mean, it is this is wild weather. We're going to talk about it a little bit because I was with our friends at the National Retail Federation today, and it was a topic, the weather. So let's get started with our opening quote. Our opening quote tonight is, I like to think of ideas as potential energy. They're really wonderful, but nothing will happen until we risk putting them into action. Ooh, I like to think of ideas as potential energy. They're really wonderful, but nothing will happen until we risk putting them into action. Isn't that the truth? When we go from idea to action, that is what we talk about here all the time. So I had one of my regular meetings today with our friends at the National Retail Federation, and it was actually a much longer meeting than I expected it to be today. I expected it to be quick. I was like, okay, got it on my calendar. I'm here. Let's do this. Let's do this. And it was a much longer meeting, but it was actually a really good meeting. And we had conversations about everything from tariffs, which is still a real thing, and how that's all playing out. Which it's a wait and see game. It's a complete wait and see game on where that's going to go. Um, Although for all the lawsuits for the companies to get the tariffs back, I'm waiting for the lawsuits, and this is just me talking, not the National Retail Federation. So just to be clear on that, I'm waiting for the lawsuits where the class action lawsuits against like Costco and Amazon for customer tariff refunds. And I say that because the average store on the street doesn't know who bought something that was a tariff product that had a price increase because of the tariff. But Costco and Amazon, who are going after tariff refunds, know exactly what the the tariffs are, okay, and who paid them. They know exactly who it is. And so I just say that as a foreshadowing the class action lawsuits. Did you buy a tariff item on Amazon? Did you buy a tariff item on Costco during the illegal Trump tariff? I can see the TV ads now soliciting people to be call the tariff lawsuit hotline and we will protect you. There's actually a good amount, and this is one of the sleazy things that's happening, and you actually may get a call on this. There are lawyers that are and venture capital funds that are calling small businesses to buy the rights to their tariff lawsuit. So let's say you paid, you're a small importer and you paid $1,000 in tariff surcharges. They'll buy your tariff lawsuit rights for maybe $200 or $100. Okay, to give you $100 now versus you fighting for the other 900. It's an interesting thing that's happening, and it's an interesting game that's happening with companies. And certainly, if you do more of it, like I have a friend that imports hot tubs and other things, like big, tens of thousands of dollars each item. Or I have another friend that is a direct importer of, like, they'll bring over a container full of lawnmowers or something. So there's real money at that. And not that $1,000 that you might be owed isn't real. Shoot, even my own stores, we're owed for we paid tariffs on placemats we ordered from Canada. Nothing against Canada, love Canada, but we didn't realize the tariff surcharge until after they landed, and then it was like, oh, well, it is what it is. But it's small money in comparison to what some of these other companies are going after, but selling the rights for that. But the interesting topic, and we've talked about it before, is weather. The interesting topic and the data, and I will post some of this when I have the slide deck, because a couple of the slides were extremely interesting from the company that NRF had do this data on weather, where they're analyzing the plus and minuses on different product groups for weather at different times of the year and where weather is expected to go. I mean, there is so much data now, and they have such modeling between AI and all their other models to be able to create data sets. So, in a lot of parts of the country, like here in the Northeast, the weather is expected to get much better this weekend. I mean, we're supposed to be pushing 70 by next Tuesday. I mean, from complete freezing rain, everything covered, from 30 inches of snow last weekend or the weekend before, I've lost track of dates, to another foot. We've had like 40 inches of snow in the last couple of weeks, the ice storm, and it's going to be 70 on next Tuesday, supposedly. So quite a wild ride. But they said, hang on a second, because they're predicting end of March that we're going to have this big cold snap come in. So don't get used to March is going to be a wild and wacky, and the end of March might not end the same way it's starting here. Well, might end the same way it's starting, with bad weather. In the Northeast, they specifically said, but they had it actually mapped out for different parts of the country. The weather is getting annoying because, now, and I'm going to talk about it from two ways, Jessica, because the weather is annoying. And the hardest thing, so is planning, okay? Because weather levels out over time, which is why I always talk about sales over the quarter, not sales during a given month, given week. Um, I like to look at it over the quarter because it gets rid of the noise. Sales over the quarter gets rid of noise. It takes it and makes it quieter because maybe we'll get more weather in February this year, but less in March, or more in January, but and then again in April. It really levels things out. I mean, it feels like we're having a lot of extremes, but it really does level out over time. And the data that NRF and this company have on weather, on the effect on sales, and actually using real data on right down to the segment. I mean, they had a segment on what will happen with skirts in this one part of the country as we head towards, which is huge. I mean, just that data and the access that I get to that is unbelievable. Okay, to look at this national, I mean, it's big guy data, but it really does come down to our level, and really makes sense with what's going on. But it's interesting that they're generally predicting adverse weather at the end of March. Now, is that rocket science? Is that data? But that's what they're predicting this year. So, what does that mean? Well, I mean, if you lose the last weekend of March, let's say, to weather, that means you want people to be shopping for Easter and the holidays earlier. So we want to pull that business in earlier while it's nice. So we want to be talking about it, doing it, and getting them out of that last minute in case we do have this bad weather in that last weekend or first week of April, when people are like, oh, it's Easter next Sunday. And I need some Easter dresses and Easter gifts, and I need to make my Easter baskets. So we want to pull that in earlier. Is the one underlying thing that really came from that. But the mix of data. Let me see if I have one of the data points here. I know I grabbed a couple of pictures. Let me just see if I have the right picture here. 1 second. Where's my photo? Hang on a second here. Let's see if I can pull it up. So, it's interesting. So, one stat is weather sensitivity, average weather sensitivity from February through April. Okay. And apparel, as an example, has a 5.6 percent sensitivity to weather, but Capri's has a 15 drilling down a little further, has a 15% sensitivity to weather. Oops, I think that's my last. That's the one screenshot I had. But I'll get all of it, because when you bring it together, it really is an amazing. I know I'm talking about it in the big picture right now, but I will bring that to you. I just wanted you to be aware of that. There's also, depending on where you are in the country, and if you have a bigger military presence, or just sensitivity to the rising gas prices with the war in Iran. And I'm not getting political here or anything, but the reality is, like in the Northeast, gas prices are up like 30 cents over the last week. And so actually even more than that. I think I paid $2.93 today, and I paid $2.49 before the war started. So that's a pretty big swing. So people are, and gas prices is an economic bellwether for people because it's there in your face. Even though we're using less gas, Americans are using less gas. I mean, it is a bellwether for things, and it is quite honestly, an economic driver of cost in the rest of the economy. Everything gets there on a truck. Okay, everything gets to a store on a truck. Yeah, I mean, Canada's getting hit hard. I mean, it is very real. How, and quite honestly, all the gas that's in your tank at your gas station or even in the refineries right now was bought a long time ago. But they're betting on that the fuel that they'll have to buy to replace it will go up. So things like that just go shoot up like a rocket, come down like a feather. Okay, up like a rocket, down like a feather. But the economic effects on the psychology, okay, even though the average person is buying less gas, more people are driving a hybrid or some other vehicle that uses less gas. They're going to the office less often. They're making less trips. All those things are true, okay, but they see on every corner the price of gas, and that makes people psychologically question things. But I think in the US, anyways, we will be buoyed for the next couple of months by tax refunds. By the enhanced tax refunds, I expect to help families ride into the summer feeling good about the economy, whether it is or it isn't. Whatever the facts are is irrelevant. It is really how do people feel. But that is where resale really holds an advantage, where we can talk about how we stretch the family budget, how we help people take their budget further and make things happen. And that's really the story to be telling right now. Is the great value, and you're doing a great value regardless of it, how it plays out in reality to an individual household economy. Maybe come August, back to school time, we'll be talking a different story. But right now, there's a psychological effect, but I think it'll be muted by tax refunds and just the general reality that people are buying less fuel and things. But that is what's happening there. What else? Oh, I had something else here. Where did I do with my other note that I had for tonight? I had while we're talking general retail tonight, I wanted to talk about our friends over at Chain Store Age, which is a magazine serving chain retail. They're 100-plus-year-old magazine serving the chain retail industry, had some brands to watch, and their thought process I thought was really interesting. And so I thought I would share some of that. Michael's, the arts and crafts supply store, has been accelerating store traffic because of the closing of Joann's and Party City. But other factors are really at work. An example is they now do a 10-minute custom frame, and that is really driving traffic. Walmart is driving in-store traffic with buy online, pick up in store, and is really driving traffic more than anything else with their website and other things and online delivery. Home Goods, HomeSense, and Marshall's TJ Maxx, Home Goods and HomeSense, especially with furniture, are really starting to show the advantage of having quality decor at an affordable price because of all the accumulated housing wear and tear from when everybody replaced it in the 2020, 2021 range. All that stuff that they bought was junk and is failing. It wasn't built to last. And they're really taking advantage of having affordable furniture. So if you're selling furniture, it is a great time to exemplify the quality that you offer, because people are looking strongly at replacing things. So what can they get from you that is of better quality that they could then upcycle, that they could do something with that will stand the test of time versus the junk they bought in 2020, 2021 that is all failing. And even, I just love this partly for nostalgia is Chuck E. Cheese. And I know that's not really in our marketplace, but, they continue to endure, have over 500 locations nationwide where a kid can be a kid, still resonates with today's children and the parents who grew up with the brand, and now offers an unlimited play subscription per month. And, I've really been in discussions with a couple of stores, a couple of clients, have been searching for ways to create a subscription in their store. And I'm there with the concept because I have some adjacent businesses that are doing phenomenally well with, and one category that I know that's doing phenomenally well with subscriptions is pet. And I'm not just talking the Chewies of the world who are doing great with it. Independent pet stores are doing phenomenal with it. And it's really, people have a love-hate relationship with subscriptions, and but how to apply it in resale is another thing. Oh, best friends, Zach and Marianne have some great furniture, great buys. Take a pickup down, and road trip, Jessica, road trip. We could meet up in Chicago. Well, I mean, if I forget how many hours you said you were from like Grand Rapids to Chicago is another 4 hours. I don't know, road trip. And they're just fun. Zach and Marianne are fun. The hard part, yes, dangerous, dangerous. But and the hard part with best friends is they're not really in Chicago. They're down this beaten path of road and everything else. But they're a great place. I've worked with Zach and Marianne for a million years. Know all of them. Know their wife. And her other son Noah, who's amazing. They're just great people, great store. I always I should have driven here instead of fly. Every time I've been out to them, I've flown, and so I'm always like, yeah, I should drive and load up the truck because they always have. They really do pull in some great things, but these are opportunities. These are opportunities to grow your resale store, and to grow your business, and with the right messaging. So it is the messaging, how you're stretching the budget, how you're stretching quality, how you're helping them grow. And this will be the year of resale. So it is very, very real. So that is awesome. You know what else is absolutely fabulous? This video and everything I talk about. This video and everything I talk about goes over to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yes, ring the bell, ring it so you know when another one drops. You can also share it with everybody you know in business. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, so we can help everybody run a better business. I am here every Sunday and Wednesday at More 8th and Ish. I am not traveling next Sunday, so I will be here. But if you have a question in between, DM me on Facebook. Great way to find me. We start our program every night with our opening quote. Our opening quote tonight was, I like to think of ideas as potential energy. They're really wonderful, but nothing will happen unless we risk putting them into action. Our closing quote tonight is, advice is what we ask for when we already know the answer, but wish we didn't. Ooh, that's good. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like these fun conversations we have. I do love being here every Sunday and Wednesday. Until Sunday at More 8th and Ish, know that you, but most importantly you, yes, you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you on Sunday.